Hello, hockey skaters and goalies around the world. Welcome back to another edition of the Ride to the Rink. It's Mike and Lee with you today, and you're probably right in your season now, getting started. Kids, listen, we're going to give you some tips today that are really important. These tips will impress your parents, which is something you want to do, whoever your guardian is. We're also going to give you some tips to create less stress around your hockey schedule based on things maybe sometimes some of you think about, some of you don't. But we want to talk about how to create a routine for yourself, not just for hockey, but for school and hockey and every activity that you do. If you're listening to the show, kids, we know you love hockey, okay? But it all plays in to each other. School is part of your life. Other sports may be part of your life. You might have siblings that do other things. Your ability, not your parents' ability, your ability to create routine, to create a schedule is something that you really need to do to not just do well in hockey, but your life in general. So Mike and I are going to go over some of those tips on how to create a routine. And then I'm going to share a tip at the end on how to impress your parents. And I think if your parents are listening with you, look at them. They're just going to be nodding in the car, wherever you're listening to this, going, yes, please do that. That would make my life easier. Mike, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, well, my advice really for all players right now at this time of year, going into the season, you're laying it all out. My biggest thing is plan ahead, plan what you want to do, plan where you want to be. We talk about goal setting all the time from an athletic point of view, but this also comes into play with how am I going to balance my academic schedule and my hockey schedule and my soccer schedule and my tennis team and my debate
YouTube
club.
time.
How am I going to do it? And then if you wing it, you can't do it. It won't work.
It never works.
I think you need to plan it out. And by planning it, and this is, I think, Lee's talking about one other thing would impress everyone, your teachers, your parents, your siblings. If you plan it and share it, now other people could plan around you. Be proactive. Plan that out. I look at like be proactive, prepare, and plan. If you can do all those things, you can then really position yourself to be in a real strong area to not only help you, but to have people help you, and they don't know if they don't know your plan.
I gotta say, all those were proactive, plan. Kids, this takes place before the action takes place. This is what you have to remember. Not 5 minutes before. In some cases, days
not
before.
After the test was administered on a Friday that you
right,
missed.
Kid. Yeah.
That's not the time to go to your teacher and say, "Oh, by the way."
Yeah, kids, I'm going to tell you a quick story real quick before I get to my big tip. I'll never forget. It was the 7th grade. I was in science class, and we had a test come up that I totally forgot about, and I crammed right there in the classroom. I tried to memorize. I think it was the pieces of a microscope. That's what the test was on, and I crammed, and I did it all right there in my seat with my young 7th grade brain, and I got 100% on this test. I'm going to tell you right now why that was the worst thing that ever happened. Because after that test, I think, I could do this every time. Never again through the rest of the grades in college ever did I ever do it that well again. Nor did I do it well. In fact, as the grades got harder, the worse that it got. And the only truth is this: do not fall in that trap. All right. It is very unlikely that you will be able to do something last minute and get a good job. Now, listen, think about this for hockey. If you did not pack your bag and you did not get everything ready and you run and you rush, there's a good chance you'll forget something. That's why you got to do it well ahead of time, typically the night before if you have early games. Okay, listen, here's my big tip for you and your parents. Kids, you got to learn to do the math, all right? You got to learn all the aspects that go into, let's just say, an away game or even a home game, right? From your point of view, it's like, oh, yeah, I got to get my gear in the car and go to hockey. Let's take a broader look here, and we'll go backwards. You got to get to the locker room. Then you got to get to the rink. You got to be there on time. You got to figure out the drive time to the rink. You got to take in things like traffic. What time of day is it? We were talking on our big episode this week about what is rush hour. Certain times of the day, there's more traffic than other times of the day.
Yes.
Now you know what time you got to leave the house. But before you leave the house, did you feed the dog? Did you feed the cat? Did you close the doors? Did you close the windows? All right. Did you eat your breakfast? Now you got more time back. You cannot rush these things and expect to do well. I'm going to say it again, going back to my 7th grade science quiz. You may do this once and maybe you have the best game ever. That is not a routine or lack of routine you want to get into. If you want to impress your parents, kids, this is what I suggest you do. Write out a list of all the gear that needs to be in your bag. and write out a list of all the tasks that you believe you need to take care of before you leave the house to get to the rink. And if you want bonus points, write out when you think you should achieve those tasks. If we have a 7:30, 8:30 a.m. game, the kid's not packing the bag before we leave. You pack in my house, you pack your bag the night before. And I'll tell you what, my own kids have found this to be very beneficial. You don't have to rush in the morning and forget anything, but they just know it's the right thing to do. And a lot of times we'll put the bag in the car the night before. It's done. We know it's set. If you want to impress your parents, write these things down. We also talked about this too for the parents. Sit down with mom and dad or whoever's driving you to the game the day before. You help decide what time to leave. You know when you need to be there. You help them decide. You can ask them how long does it take to drive there. Take some accountability in learning this. Kids, if you do this, I promise you, your parents will get you a donut. Parents, you got to get them a donut if they're willing to do this, or maybe a low-carb, nice, healthy treat of some sort, okay? All right? Do the work, kids, because this is all stuff you're going to need to do when you're older. The younger you can get this, the better chance you're giving yourself, not just in hockey, but in life. By the way, Mike, right? Not just limited to hockey. You can do this for school. You can do this for a lot of things. This is all about preparation for your life. So that's my big tip. Hopefully a lot of you take it. Again, look at your parents. They're nodding. They're just nodding in the car. Yes, that is correct. I would love for you to do that. Honey, I don't want you to forget your stick again. All right, Mike, anything for the kids before I close this up?
No, just make it easy for yourself. Making it easy for yourself is planning, preparing, not procrastinating. Make it easy for yourself. And it's because then everything else lays out. Like, just put yourself in that position of everybody stressed out about you. Well, you just give them the answers. Say, here's what I'm doing. Here's my plan. And now we can work around you.
Right. Love it. Kids, listen, wherever you're at on that hockey journey, we believe in you. You should too. For Mike, I'm Lee. Thanks for jumping on this ride to the rink. Kids, if you ever have a question for us directly, have your parents email us, team@ourkidsplayhockey.com, or you can text us through the episode. There's a link. We love hearing from you as much as we love hearing from the adults, okay? I'll talk to you next time, kids. Skate on. Have fun. See you next time.